1. And bing, bing, bing. Oh, it says failed to go live. Please try again.
Just got a message from
Laura, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going to reload the Hangout. Give me a second.
Sure.
Hey.
Hi there.
Hello, hi.
Sigu is here. Hey, Sigu.
Hey, hi, Sam.
Hey, good to have you here again.
Yeah, so nice to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were just having a little bit of trouble with taking Hangout live. I'm just going to mute you, Sigu, because you've got a bit of a noisy background there. I'm going to try posting publicly. I think, yeah, it's funny. It's not letting me go live there. Also lost my.
It's showing me as live.
Yeah, I'm seeing live, and then I guess the post public. So maybe we are live. Maybe it is recording, but it's just kind of failed to go up to YouTube or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, there we go. I'll keep pressing this. Go on, Sigurd.
Am I noisy still?
There's it's a little bit of, maybe I'll just turn you down actually a little bit. There's a kind of a background kind of hum. I'll just turn you, maybe just, I can balance the noise levels. Yeah, I'll leave it. What we generally do is if you're not, talking, we mute ourselves and then we unmute to speak. So anyway, I've turned you down a bit. Feel free to check there. I'm just going to get there we go. Okay. Well, maybe we're recording, maybe we'll not. Who knows? It's all good. Here we are.
But I can see I'm live.
Yeah, it does say live, so I mean, there's a link. I mean, there is a YouTube link. I mean, I can always go and just check the YouTube link. I mean, I imagine that will. What will that say? Will there actually be a stream there? Oh, it looks like it's recording. Yeah, it looks like it's going on. Okay, yeah. So without further adu, yes, Sam, Sigu, Lara, and Pat, we are in the. It's not Quebec. It's Modern Fowler. Modern Fowler. We're getting mixed up. They're very different people, but they're both awesome. Modern Fowler Scrum. Let's start with Pat. Was first in. Pat, do you want to give us an update on what's happening with you? Anything blocking you at the moment?
Yeah, no blockers. My status since yesterday, we had. Let's see, I think we loaded some stories, excuse me, after the stand-up yesterday. I did a pair programming with Laura, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here, and I reviewed some PRs since then as well, and didn't have a lot of time yesterday to work on the project, but I did add a little time to look at preparing for Jasmine tests that I want to add for Pusher. Pusher is a notification tool we use to push real-time pop-ups to the client browser. So just getting ready to add some Jasmine tests for that. And that's it for me.
Great stuff. Thanks, Patrick. That's Sigu's in next. Hey, Sigu, how are things going with you?
I'm okay. I've spent the better part of the morning just training my guys. So in the afternoon, it's when I want to get into Mentio. Not Mentio.
Met Plus.
Met Plus. Thank you. So I just needed an overview from what I talked to Patrick. He was supposed to give us an overview of what's supposed to happen in MedPlus.
Indeed, and well, so let me just give background there, Patrick. So Sigu runs a coding bootcamp in Kenya, and it's got about 10 students, and he's very keen to contribute to MedPlus. He was in the Scrum yesterday. He's keen to kind of hook up, and I was saying, Patrick is the man to see. Patrick is the man to hook up with MedPlus.
Okay, great. Well, I plan on spending some time with you after this, Sigu, if you're available. We can do an overview of the project.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
We can do that immediately after this.
Great.
All right. Great stuff.
All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. Lara, how are things going with you?
All right. Yeah, going good. I see there's a lot of comments. Oh, okay, sorry. Wrong project. Okay, so on MedPlus, yeah, I've been doing some work there, and I've learned a lot. I did some pair programming with Patrick yesterday. He helped me out. I don't have any blockers as yet. Thanks.
Just got my mute sorted out. Yeah, cool. So and then me. Yeah, I wasn't pairing yesterday, but I was fixing DevOps stuff on local support, regenerating keys and things related to our change on Heroku, and yeah, slowly making some progress there. Yeah, been doing a lot of async voting. It's local support website 1. Very pleased to see lots of comments going on and so on. I've been looking at your pull request, Lara, and just working on that. And I'm available if you want to have a closer look at that together right now or later in the day or whatever you fancy.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I've just actually logged onto GitHub now, and I just see all the comments there from Raul and from
John.
John. Yeah. So I see you've made some changes. So I just want to quickly go through that.
Yeah,
But
I've
got some time.
Yeah.
I've got time to go through it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's then everything. Yeah, I mean, other things going on for me because I've got this. I'm giving a talk on pull requests for learning in the Rails Remote Conference on Thursday. Which, by the way, Pat, thanks for your excellent suggestions on that. Which I immediately pushed out to the website 1 and local support groups, and immediately we got a flurry of people. That's partly the reason, Lara, that you're seeing the comments. I think from Raul and John is I was passing on Patrick's advice about how much. I mean, it's not just the learning for the person who makes the pull request, but it's the learning for the people who are commenting. Okay. And then you may see in the comments there that John doesn't understand what OG is, and then Raul tells him what it is and a link to it. And it's just like, I took a screenshot of that, and I was like, beautiful multidimensional learning.
Okay, because I was like, have I done something wrong again? I was like,
no. Well, remember, if in doubt, remember it's Sam's fault. This is the thing. So we have to get into this general because I can take a lot of beating. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and I think I'm hoping if I can maybe later on to get onto more website 1, more of the premium plus upgrade thing and putting into Stripe. But we'll see. That's my plan. That's the Scrum. I think Sigu and Pat want to talk. I guess you could hang out in the Scrum and keep on doing it here, and Lara, you and I can connect later on as is appropriate.
Okay. Thank you, Sam.
Great.
Okay, that'd be great.
Cool.
Thanks, Sam.
All right. Sure. Well,
thanks, Sam. Oh, you muted, Sam. You muted. You're muted.
Sorry, I thought I was saying I'm muted. Okay, yeah, I'm going to switch off, but I'll keep running the Scrum so it'll record Patrick, because obviously, I think we've got one viewer, that your explanation of Met Plus will be valuable to Sigu and also to others who are watching in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Lara.
Bye. Bye, Lara.
Okay, Sigu, so you're in Kenya, huh?
Yes, I'm in Kenya.
Wow, and you're running a code camp.
Yes, I'm running a code camp. We call it Code 90.
Code 90?
Yes, Code 90. It runs for 90 days.
Ah.
Yeah. So the last one, the last intake that we did, we're going until 13th of November.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And
so
how long have you been doing that?
This is my second group, actually. The first one I started in May. It started more of like an internship, industry internship.
I see.
So I had this idea of how do I really get people to know about coding and how can I make it good. I decided to take these guys for industrial attachment. So it emphasized from being an industrial attachment into kind of a boot camp for coding.
Oh my gosh, that's great. And
yeah.
What technology stack do you guys tend to work with in the bootcamp?
Okay. I happened to have introduced myself to web programming using Ruby. Actually, I started with Rails, then I worked my way backwards to Ruby, which I think most people do. So I'm more comfortable working with Ruby and Rails, and that's what I take them through. So currently, we've done Ruby, the basics. We're serving web apps using Telatra. Then probably next week we'll start on doing Ruby on Rails.
Oh, great! That sounds very familiar. So I think a lot of the way those code camps go makes perfect sense. You guys get into JavaScript as well and other things?
Yeah, I was actually planning to do the JavaScript, but I'm not still that good in JavaScript, so it might be a bit of a problem for me to explain to them part of the JavaScript. And the time we have is a bit limited, so you might only just touch on it, the JavaScript.
Got it. Yeah. That's a lot to learn in 90 days if you cover a lot of that technology.
It's too much.
Yeah,
Because most of those who come, some of them don't even know what a variable is. So we start from absolute beginner to that. You hungry?
Well, maybe. What is your staff?
What is mine?
Is it who's on the staff that teaches the students besides yourself?
Unfortunately, I'm still alone. I handle 10 students so far. Yeah.
Oh boy, you're doing it all yourself, huh? That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but if I manage to do it this time round, I think I can do it over and over again. Then the previous group, some of them are willing to help me, only that they went back to school. Some of them are in college.
I see.
So
you do.
I can send you the link to HTTP.
Okay. All right. I will. I'll take a look at that, Siggo. It's taken a while to come up here.
Website. So the source code is live. The link that I've just sent you again. The source code, that's the exact source code that's running.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So for the contributors, if I can just open it and share the screen. 90 website. Where's the screen share? I'm losing it. Yeah, here we go. Start share. You seeing it?
Let's see. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Yep.
GitHub.
Yep.
So I have nine contributors.
Okay.
And the 9 contributors are actually, they were in the previous cohort. This is me, and this is the rest of the group. So they helped me build the site.
I see. So that's the site I'm looking at right now. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as basic as it looks. If you go to the README, I describe how exactly you can try it out. I use it to take the daily feedback from the students, so that I can know what to do tomorrow and what people didn't really understand.
Okay.
Yeah. So
go ahead, please.
Just go ahead.
Yeah. Your website looks like it was built with a front end tool, like a JavaScript framework, because it's very visual, etc. I guess not.
The only thing I used was Zap Foundation, which is a CSS framework. Yeah, it's a CSS framework that I used for that. The little JavaScript I have is just doing some basic Ajax calls to the backend, just to avoid the page readings. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, maybe I can help out with that. But in the meantime, let's talk about MetPlus. So, so your intent here is just to help out on MetPlus and learn a little bit more, try different things, or what's the intent?
My intention is where I am currently. I believe that for someone to be able to learn code better, you should at least work with those who you know more than them, and also work with those who know more than you. Unfortunately, in Ruby and Rails, where I am currently, no one knows more than I do. I'm the one showing them what to do. So I really need that exposure. I really need to get past where I am right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes perfect sense. Well, I guess what we ought to do is I thought we could just start with an overview of the project, Siggo, and then I'm not sure if you want to take a story today, or you want to go through some of the material we'll do an overview of, and then maybe tomorrow we talk about taking a story. What's your thoughts?
We can tomorrow. I'm scheduled for to see a dentist. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't know the exact time that I'm supposed to give him a call later in the day. So I don't know what time he'll need me there.
I see. Okay, no problem. Then.
Yeah. So it will be nice if we could do both right now.
Okay, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
By the way, what time is it there?
It's 1:47
In the afternoon.
PM.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
the afternoon. And you?
And 6:47 in the morning here.
Whoa.
Yeah. So about 7 hours apart, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's usual. That's the great thing about being a virtual world. You can talk to people all over the world. Okay, so why don't I start with sharing my screen?
Yeah.
And we will take a look at some stuff here. Do that. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Something, I thought I had a screen prepared that I could look at. Anyway, doesn't matter. So have you had a chance to look at any material on the project yet?
On MetPlus, what I've done so far is just to download it. Yeah, just download it and run the sub. Done so much. I think you sent me some credentials on Slack.
I did, or maybe Sita did?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you said you sent me. I hopefully I did it right. I tried getting my way around. Unfortunately, there's no seeds for jobs. Jobs are not seeded.
Jobs? No, we actually do create jobs.
No, on the seeds.
In the seed file? Yeah, we do.
Yeah. When I rec seed, I actually didn't find any job. 0 jobs created.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that'll be step one after we do this. We try to get you stood up with the application.
Okay.
So anyway, what I've got in the wiki on GitHub, if you had a chance to look at that.
Okay.
And that's linked to from our project page on Agile Ventures.
Agile Ventures, just a minute. Agile Ventures.
Slash.
Sorry.
Can you see the URL there? Well, I'm not making that URL bigger.
I'm only seeing the Slack. Projects.
Okay.
Under projects. Local support website one. MetPlus. Here it is.
Yeah. You got it. Okay, good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and if you go to the wiki,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff there, but I've created this page called onboarding, which we can look at. If you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen. Onboarding
Okay.
new members. Yeah.
Okay. I'm keeping Hangouts alive in the background. I've had problems with stability. I seem to lose connection once in a while, and I'm not aware of it until somebody tells me via Slack. So I'm keeping that open in the background. I know it's disconcerting, but so anyway, just at a very high level, our client is what they call a jobs agency. The jobs agency is basically an organization that tries to broker between employers and job seekers and tries to make a marriage between the two. So find the appropriate job for a job seeker and find the appropriate people for an employer. They're non-profit. You have to take that?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'll call back later on.
Okay. It's nice to hear the birds in the background, by the way. That's great. We don't always get that. So, yeah, they call themselves MetPlus, and so they're based in Detroit, Michigan. Our client, his name is Chet Pitts. He's a good guy, and he's basically trying to help out areas in Detroit and surrounding areas that are very economically disadvantaged. So there's a lot of, as you know, you probably heard a little bit about Detroit, Michigan. There's a lot of joblessness there. A lot of manufacturing has left the area, et cetera. So anyway, he's also got vocational job training that he's got underway. I think he's got underway as he's trying to get a loft, get started. I think he's actually taken over an old high school, an abandoned high school, and is using that for vocational job training. Or
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you for a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I was okay. I thought I lost you on the video because it wasn't moving at all.
Okay. So
okay.
I think we're okay now. So anyway, he's trying to do good things in his area to get jobs for people and help with revitalizing some of the economy around there. And he's a nonprofit, so that's all good. And I think, he's got a website, and I think, just a standard website built with Wix or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really key sentence from that, which is he wants to help with the rebuilding of neglected and damaged communities with his various projects, including this particular project, which is to build an app for him. And so he asked us to build him a SaaS app. He didn't use SaaS, but that's what we call it. It's cloud-based, of course. And it's not just a job matching site. It's a site that will accommodate 3 different type of audiences. One is a job seeker who wants to find a job, post their resume, look at posted jobs from employers, etc.
Job seeker.
The job seeker. Another audience is the agency people, the people in the jobs agency who manage their activity in, keeping track of all the activity going on between the employer and the job seeker, as well as their own activity. And then the third audience, of course, is the employer. The employer can post jobs, can see job seekers, etc. So that's basically 3 different audiences that we're trying to build this thing for. And also, before we get into that, I do want to say Chet's the first name of the client. He's very technology savvy. So he likes technology. He wants a lot of...
Chet.
What's that?
Okay.
Chet.
Yeah, I've just seen the name. It's Chet. Then just a clarification on agency.
Yeah.
You're saying we have job seekers, agencies, and employers. The job seekers cannot see the employers directly, or why the agency?
Well, the job seekers can see the posted jobs from employers directly. And the employers can see a little bit about the job seekers. So we're building a capability, which we'll talk about in a minute, that allows us to match a job description to job seeker resumes. When there's a match, the employer doesn't necessarily see the job seeker contact information directly. They have to, Chet wants them to go through an agency representative to connect the 2 parties. So a little bit different in terms of that. Excuse me. So the purpose, like I said, of the agency is to connect people together. And so we have, again, the agency people, we have the job seekers, primary activities that they can register, apply to jobs, and they can get linked to either a job developer or a case manager or both. Now, a job developer is a role in the agency, and a job developer basically is the primary broker primary liaison between the employer and the job seeker. So they're the ones who get directly connected to the job seeker. They're the ones who establish relationships with employers, get to know what they need, and like any good broker does, learn both parties. Case manager is somebody, so you have less case managers in the agency. They do more of making sure that things are moving along. If there's a job seeker who hasn't seen activity in a while, they would pick up on that and try to see what's going on. And they probably, you can think of it as more job developers than case manager. Case manager has more of an oversight responsibility, as more particular, job developer has more of a direct relationship and working directly with the parties. The exact difference between case manager and job developer is a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
But that's essentially, I think, how Chet would describe it.
Okay.
So anyway, when you see the system, you've got different roles you can log in as. You can log in as an agency person, and you can be assigned the job developer case manager role. There's also agency admin, somebody who
Agency
maintains.
admin.
Yeah, you maintain basic information in the system about your agency. Companies or employers, they have two different roles. Again, company contact is pretty much anybody in the company. Company admin, of which there's at least one, maintains information about the company, website, description, phone number, that kind of thing in the system. And then job seekers. So so that's essentially a very, very high level view of what's going on at the application level, application domain level. In terms of the system architecture, let me go over that really quickly.
Okay.
So there's some other information here that might be useful to scan, to read for you when you get a chance on the AV site.
Okay.
But this is the key one I wanted to look at right now. So this is a very high level view of the architecture. We have this is what's called in the front. We're calling this the front end, the thing on the right. This is all Ruby on Rails here.
Yeah.
So that's and Ruby on Rails is what we're presenting the UI to the user with. We're rendering out of the server. We do have significant amount of JavaScript for various activities, mostly having to do with improving the user experience, as you mentioned. So you can update an element on the DOM without refreshing the whole page, that kind of thing. And we have JavaScript doing other stuff as well, but it's mostly Ruby on Rails, so you should be very comfortable with that. And then we have this thing on the left, the back end, or what we call the cruncher. We call it the cruncher. So the intent of the cruncher is to store resumes and job descriptions. This says just resume, but we also put job descriptions in there. And we run textual analysis algorithm against the resume text and the job description text so that we can classify them into categories. For instance, and we're in the process now of working with the client to define what his job categories should be. He's just started working on that. But you can think of job categories as, let's be really non-granular and say software developer, truck driver, and accountant. Let's say those are 3 job categories.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're using naive Bayes algorithm, which is a text classification system that you teach via training data. So we will tell the algorithm that these particular resumes belong to the category software developer.
Yeah.
And these job descriptions belong to the category software developer. So the Bayes, yeah, go ahead.
All that is done on the cruncher, not on the RAID side.
All that is done on the cruncher, right? We're in the, and so we have that working. We just, at this point, we need to define categories and give it training data so it could recognize the different job categories that the client works with. So again, we've asked him to go out and think about this, talk to employer clients in terms of how do they categorize jobs and job seekers. So that's going on there. The reason that's important is that we're doing what we call matching on the front end, which is somebody will say, well, I'm a job seeker. Can you match my resume against available jobs and tell me if there's any close match? And that involves talking to the cruncher on the back end through a well-established API and returning a list of job matches back to the front end and presenting that to the user, that kind of thing. But all that textual classification stuff is happening in the back end. So we just talk to it through a well-established API.
Okay, so the API exists, everything is set up. You also take part in the Java and the MongoDB on the other side?
Yep, so that's right, I didn't even mention it. So we do have MongoDB over here, so it's a textual database, object database, of course, textual oriented, so it's Mongo that we're using over there. This is all Java and Mongo. So most of us don't have Java skills, not that most of us not even interested in Java, unfortunately. Who's got time for everything, right? So you've got to pick your targets.
Yes.
So we've only got one person on, who's actually the project manager, the person who started Hua. He's based here on the East Coast of the US like I am. He's in New York. I'm outside of Boston. But he's got the Java skills. He's built all this, including the API.
Oh.
And so
it's a one-man show.
one-man show.
Oh,
But as he's found, he's a very talented, very senior, experienced developer. Actually, and he's very good on Rails too,
oh,
in
wow.
JavaScript. So he's one of the best software engineers I've ever had the opportunity to work with.
I guess
So
he's
he's
done
great.
this for quite a long time.
Yes, he has. He's
Oh,
been full-time software development for quite a while and very experienced.
okay.
So he's a big help on both sides.
Okay.
So
Actually, a while
Mhm.
back, I talked to my students about that architecture. Yes, this particular architecture, and I explained this exact architecture to them. I didn't really I didn't have the details about it, but I just explained to them that systems can get as complex as this. And they asked me a question that I didn't know how to answer. What's a cruncher?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah. What's a cruncher? So I was like, a cruncher is anything that takes a PDF file, a Word file, a text file, and converts it into text and stores it in the DB. That's the best answer I could give them.
Well, that's the right answer. I mean, it's just I want to the colloquialism I said. It's basically a term for anything. Well, you can think of resume going into the jaws of a big machine with big teeth that tears apart the resume,
Oh,
reduces it,
yeah.
strips out the format, reduces it to just text, and then goes through the text, crunching it along and figuring out how it represents a particular category of resume. So, yeah, it's just a cute name for it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Before let me just real quickly, I'm going to show you. So if you look on our wiki, there is the Cruncher API. There's a couple of links here. So when you look at
Production
this,
1 and 2. Yeah.
oh yeah. So when you look at that, you can see there's APIs, and this is all a RESTful API. And you don't actually have to talk this API. We've got adapter code between the high-level stuff used in our app and this low-level API. But we authenticate, we upload, download resumes, we match resume with job, and vice versa. So that kind of thing. So we also have, actually and this is something we don't need to get into details right now, but because we don't have categories back there yet, so we can't do real matching of resumes to jobs and vice versa. We've got this sandbox, which is basically we talk to the sandbox version of the Cruncher, and it returns canned responses. So, and against this, for instance, so we want to match resumes to a job. If we have a job, give me a list of matching resumes. The sandbox basically goes through an algorithm as defined here to return presumably matching resumes to the job. So that's important when we start developing. Again, we haven't started building stories that actually implement matching capability yet, but when we do, we'll be using the sandbox. And the developer, it'd be nice to know if the developer knows that they're going to get something canned back and they should be looking for this kind of response.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's more of I don't really have the details about mocking and stabbing, but it's more of mocking the reply that we expect to be coming back.
Well, mocking, yeah, I would say so. Except that mocking typically returns to not talking to an actual external service.
Yeah.
In this case, if we use mocking to speak about external services, where we just mock the response, we don't actually go out to the internet to talk to the service.
Yeah.
And we intercept that at some point, and then we just return back a canned response without going to the internet.
Okay.
In this case, this is like a commercial SaaS application. And if you look at most of them for developers, they'll have a sandbox. Like, for instance, if you ever work with PayPal, they have an API for developers. They also have a sandbox where you can test the API, your code.
Okay.
And it goes to
Now I
their
get it.
sandbox. Yeah, and it
Yes, I
doesn't
get
do...
it now.
Exactly. That's what we've got. So we're actually going to the internet. We're actually going to the Cruncher.
Okay.
But we tell the Cruncher in the URL that we're talking to.
You're telling don't take the data I'm just about to send to you seriously. I'm just using it for development, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just give me... Yeah.
I just remembered maybe when you're starting Rails console in Sandbox, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Just give me a canned response. Don't do anything real.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. Which is what we want. We don't want to mock it because we want to get the real behavior of the application of the Cruncher service itself and make sure that's reflected in how our software works with it. Because when you mock, sometimes if the external behavior changes, you're in trouble because it might break your real code when you talk to the real service.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, as noted, you can see we have a lot of opportunities to get involved depending upon what technology you like, mostly Ruby and JavaScript, etc., CSS. We use Bootstrap, not Foundation.
Yeah,
So kind of the
I
same.
realized. Yeah.
I hear good things about Foundation, but Bootstrap works well as well also.
Yeah. Also, so many people use Bootstrap. So
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of talent out there. So just a list of significant gems or services that we use. You know, we can go through that. You probably use Devise, I would
Yes,
imagine.
I've used Device before.
Yeah, that's kind of the gold standard, I think, for authentication.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, sorry to interrupt there. Just,
Yeah.
I'm going to need to shut down the Hangout from my side. You can carry on here. I think it'll carry on recording for 5.
Yep.
Just, I'm going to drop out. If you want to create a new Hangout for pairing or whatever, go ahead. But I'll catch you guys soon, yeah?
Okay, yeah, thanks for letting us use your Hangout. That's
No,
great.
my totally my pleasure. Have fun, guys. All right, bye for
Okay.
now.
Thank you,
care.
Sam.
Bye now.
Cheers.
Yep.
All right, cheers.
So there's some other the things you can look here at your leisure. We use will paginate to paginate tables. We use Pundit for authorization. I don't know if you've used can. That's another big one that people use.
Yes, the one Ryan Bates, the gem that Ryan Bates made. I think
Oh, did he
it
do
was
can?
Yeah.
Ah,
No, he did can. Then I think the community took it over and did can.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at Pundit and can initially in the project, and we did a little prototype using both
Yeah.
tools. We liked Pundit a little bit more than can, but anyway, both of them are good.
Yeah.
Let's see. We use Cocoon to.
These are just a minute. Active record acts as allows the user to be inherited model from the parent models.
Yes. So that gem allows us to do basically multiple inheritance, if you will. So we have a which Rails and Ruby doesn't support, but we have a user model that basically looks like the parent class for 3 different models. So the 3 types of people we have are an agency person, a company person, and a job seeker person. Those models, those models all inherit from user.
Okay.
And this record acts as manages that for us in a very nice way. And the user model has things like first name, last name, phone number, but it's also where all of the Devise stuff is. All the Devise fields are in the user model.
Are in the user model.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a typical setup. Cocoon allows us to use, if you have a situation, and this is an example that we have it for, if you have, say, an agency branch, that's a location that the agency uses, or, excuse me, just an agency itself, they can do business in various places, various addresses.
Yeah.
So Cocoon allows us to easily add or delete addresses to a form. It's got some JavaScript built in there, so if you want to add an address to a form, you click on a button, it adds another empty address for you to fill in, etc. It's a nice little tool. It doesn't do a lot, but what it does really nicely, and it solves a problem for us.
Okay. For associations that include, I think I've had trouble with accepts nested attributes for earlier on, so I might really understand what Cocoon does.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a pain using accept nested attributes for.
Right. So we do have to use, of course, that, but actually, if you want to, I can show you real quickly what that looks like. Let's see. Did we start up okay? We did. So let's do this. Again, as let's say an agency administrator, and I'm going to go to some place where I can edit my agency.
Agency.
Yeah, not that. Okay, I don't want to do that. Where do I want to go? Let's see, do I want to add a branch or do I? So here's a company. Company can do business in various places, various addresses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have one company address added here. So if I click on this little link, add address,
Add address, yes.
Cocoon is doing that. So I can
Yeah.
do this. And if I
Cool.
said, well, gee, I don't want to do that, I'll delete that. I'll get back to just 2 addresses,
Oh.
you know, that kind of thing. And then I can add address, you know, street, etc. So that's what Cocoon is doing.
Cool.
It's a great little tool, and it enables all of this. And it's a little bit of, when I address, there's a JavaScript round trip to go get an extra DOM element that's added to the list of addresses here. And when I do this, it removes that element from the DOM.
Okay.
So, yeah, take a look at it. If you ever have a problem like that, you
Yeah.
have to, yeah. And then there's something called Ransack that we use. That's for local database searching. The database on the front end side is, of course, a relational database, PostgreSQL for production. And we do have the ability to search jobs using